Okay, let's try it this way. Can you hear me? Please say in the chat something like a thumbs up, +1 if you can hear me. Although it should hopefully be working now. Okay, great. Sorry for the issues. I had some technical difficulties with the setup. Okay, so nice to have everybody here. It's really nice to see what the journey has been for the Enterprise Rack Challenge for the last for the past 2 weeks. So we have more than 500 teams already registered on the platform. We have more than 160,000 AI agent evaluations logged. And this was done for the store challenge, for the demo challenge, and for the enterprise free dev and test setups. So now we're going to kick off the real challenge. And what will happen next is to deploy on the platform enterprise rack-free production, which is the same set of APIs as the test and dev versions, but it has a different set of tasks. And let's first get it deployed and kick off the competition, and then I'll continue talking. I have a handy script here, which usually deploys everything without much downtime. And compiling, uploading, building, swapping, done. So now when you go to the Enterprise Rack Challenge site, you should see ERC3 prod competition that is available. And it has like slightly more than 100 tasks. It has 103 tasks. So now you can just take your agent, which you have been developing for the previous weeks or so, and switch it to the ERC3 prod and start it. Just make sure that when you're doing that, you will use the competition accuracy flag to compete for the first set for the prizes. And if you go actually to the samples, I'll share the link in the chat. You can see exactly what is the benchmark name, ERC3 prod, and how to set it up for the competition. Now, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to share them here on the YouTube or in the Elementary Hood or Discord communities. Okay, and let's see. Let's see if anybody is managed to get to the challenge. Okay, I'm looking at the test runs. So people have already started executing some tasks, and it looks like some tasks are being executed in parallel by the teams, which is smart. So now what we're going to do is the challenge originally is supposed to run for 1 hour. This is going to be the prize competition. And the idea is that since the agent has already been prepared and set up, they're working fine on the test challenge, on the dev challenge. So now it's just a matter of switching it to the new set of tasks. And we don't want to have systems that somehow look into the questions or optimize for them. We just want to have it one clear agent run. So that's why we're limiting it to 1 hour, assuming that 1 hour is enough for agents to finish one run and maybe give teams spare time to fix bugs at any. But if it actually turns out that 1 hour is not enough for the agents to finish runs, we can extend the timeline by 2 hours. And the idea is that we have essentially 2 competitions here, like it has been done in the previous enterprise rank challenges. So there is a priced and time-limited challenge where we are competing only for the accuracy. And only the sessions that have compete accuracy flag in them will compete for that. And the section has to be finished before the deadline. And it's okay to have multiple sessions that will complete it by the team within the deadline. We'll just pick the last one. And also the extended round of the competition will take place until the next week, until the next Tuesday to be precise. So in that competition, you can just take your time, deploy sessions and agents with focus on budget or accuracy or speed. And we will not reveal correct answers, or we will not reveal correct scoring until the next Tuesday for any of the sessions. This way, the competition is more fair, and there are no training leaks. For example, it is impossible to take a Claude code or OpenAI codex, just point it to the OpenAI and say, hey, write me the code that will beat this competition. And it will kind of look at the answers, it will look at the correct evaluations, and it will say, oh yeah, now I memorized the patterns, and now let's build an agent that just replaces patterns. So we want to avoid that for the enterprise rank 3 fraud challenge. So this is the reason why the answers, the scores, will be hidden until the next Tuesday. And in this production benchmark, I also wanted to make it slightly more difficult for agents to predict the outcome of the task based on the previous task run. So each time the task is being set up, both the condition and the outcome is going to be slightly changed. This way, the answer from the previous task, from the previous run of the same task in the previous session, is not going to be directly applicable to this task. And we're also hiding the gotchas, we're hiding obviously the evaluations, and we're even hiding the task names. So to make sure that these hints, they are not leaking to the agent code, and so that the competition is going to be truly competitive. So to answer the question of in the chat, which flags we have for the RC client except compete accuracy. So for the next 2 hours, just use compete accuracy. Additional flags, if you go to the actually release notes, so if you go to the enterprise rank challenge, there is 116 flashing at the top. And this is a list of release notes, which we publish with every new release. And here there are explanations of the flags that we have. It's compete accuracy, compete budget, compete speed, and compete local. You can essentially submit sessions with any combinations of these flags. And they're just going to participate in different leaderboards. So, but ideally, if you want to have the best chance of getting the highest spots, so and that's what some teams are already going to do, is take a system that is optimized for the accuracy and run a session and use compete accuracy flag. Then maybe take a system that is optimized for the speed. And a lot of teams are using for that Cerebras or Grok with GPT OSS 120, and just run the session using computer speed. And then maybe use some local model. Also could use OpenAI or something cheap or something from the open router, but this time compete for the budget. And different flags will go into the different leaderboard categories. So what is going to happen next is that currently we have like live leaderboard for every benchmark, except for the prod, because there is no score. And these live benchmarks, these live leaderboards are going to stay with us for quite some time. But next Tuesday, we're going to reveal evalves. We're going to run them against all the sessions that have submitted, including the crisis ones, and we're going to freeze them. So, like the official part of the competition will have the leaderboards, which are going to be frozen, and they're going to be published on the website of the time tag. They're going to be published on my website, and they're going to be frozen forever. So if you get to these leaderboards, like it's permanent, and these are usually the leaderboards which companies use to maybe seek for the consulting, or try to hire people, or try to invite into startups, or just try to get some consultancy. Okay, so I think I answered the question from Hearing Fox, and let me see if there are any questions in the Discord channel or in the Abdullin Brotherhood community. Okay, Kickoff is running. Yeah, and the question is, scores are not going to, they're not showing. Of course, the scores are not showing because this is the competition. So now, please share in the chat actually. So if you're running your sessions, so please share in the chat how is it going. Like if your agent is hitting some of the problems or not hitting some of the problems, and which task are you already? So like how many percent of the session have you completed? And also to explain in the meanwhile why we have like more than 100 tasks is that I added extra tasks in case some of the tasks are impossible to solve, or it will turn out during the evaluation that they are incorrect or dubious. So we can clean up and disqualify those tasks before the final competition is summarized. So this way you have some spare capacity for the bad tasks. And I'm pretty sure that I'll have bad tasks once in a while because I make mistakes all the time. But at least this time it will be much easier to evaluate all the competition results compared to the previous enterprise track challenge with PDFs, because previous time I had to manually proofread every PDF to find the correct references. And here the current system is built using the simulation, even though the simulation is slightly different for the different agent, because simulation essentially it creates a new instance of the world with some random parameters, populating them based on the rank seed that is incorporated in every task run. But since we're controlling the world's creation, since we're controlling the simulation, we can already know in advance what would be the correct answers. The agent has to discover it the hard way by going for the APIs, by doing the different calls. Okay, let me share in the chat. Okay, checking if there are any more questions. And let's see if managing to get some runs of work. Yeah. So something is definitely happening. And let's look at the dump of the source code. Sorry, dump of the database. Okay. So I can see that there is an uptick in the agent runs. So we're going to hit 170,000 agent runs in a few minutes, which is amazing. And while we're waiting for any responses to see how people are doing, the idea is that in this challenge, so enterprise record production system, it has the same set of APIs as the dev and test systems, but it has a slightly different company. So the knowledge base that is exposed through the wiki is completely different. To keep things simpler and to avoid imposing too many token costs, all of the tasks, they share exactly the same knowledge base. Except each task, as it was mentioned, is running in a different simulation. So different tasks might represent a different situation of the company at different points in time. People will be different, maybe employee IDs will be different, projects will be different, skill with distribution is going to be different. This way, it is not possible for the agent to reuse some of the knowledge from the previous task runs in each task run. It has to rediscover it every single time, as if it is connected to the system that is continuously changing, like it is usually in the enterprise world. Because when we're deploying AI agents, for example, as a sales assistant in a large company, then the agent shouldn't really believe to some snapshot or some assumption that it had a long time ago. It should always rediscover the latest actual information. And that's what makes agents work quite well compared to humans in some tasks, because agents never gets tired of looking information, of searching for the information, or of double checking things. Okay, let's see. And if you're looking for the source code to get started with running for this challenge, so our source code repository and all benchmarks now link to their own samples. There is SGR agent ERC3 prod. which actually differs from the test agent only in the ID of the benchmark. And actually, when it's creating an OpenAI client, that's another tiny change. It sets a timeout of 30 seconds, and you might want to change it to something else. And the reason for that being is that as I've been testing system, apparently half of the time tag, or it felt like half of the time tag, they were also using the same company OpenAI account, which was causing throttling, and the system would just freeze forever. That's why I added fixes. And there is a question about my internet connection appeared to be pretty bad at the moment. I lost connection to the platform while executing tasks. Such cases don't have excuses, right? And I have to start from the beginning. Actually, no. The idea is, and I didn't write this out in the source code, but essentially through the API, you don't always have to start like a new session. You can connect to the latest open session. And you can just get, once again, a list of tasks programmatically and find the list of tasks that were not completed yet and just continue running for them. So I had this initially in the, in the initial sample codes, but it was too complicated. People were asking too many questions, so I dropped this. But long story short, you can programmatically use the Python SDK to connect to the existing session and just continue the tasks. Now, could somebody share in the chat or in any of the chats with how many tasks have you already completed? I see that somebody has 18 tasks completed, somebody has 56 tasks completed, 25 tasks completed, 100 tasks completed. Okay, please give me a couple of more numbers. Basically, if somebody has already completed a session and you want to run it, so here's what you can do. You just rerun it, or you fix the bug and then you run the session. And if the session doesn't complete before the deadline, then it will not count. So basically, if you already have one session with the complete accuracy flag submitted, then you have a safe checkpoint. And now you can do a couple of more runs to fix the bugs. For example, if you have encountered network connectivity issue and your agent kind of missed some of the tasks. Now, speaking of the deadline, so initially we were planning to have the deadline at 11:30 Central European Time, which is something like, but they said the stream started a bit later, so it is about 11:40, which is in half an hour from now. But let's see if there are teams that are actually managing to submit their full session rounds by the time. We'll set the deadline at 11:40, and if the teams are not managing to complete it, we'll just extend the deadline by 2 hours. Because, for example, when I've been testing my own agent, like the public agent that is available on the GitHub, the SGR one, on the Enterprise Rack 3 Challenge Prod, in my case, it was taking something like 90 seconds per task. So if I was running it sequentially, then I would never be able to finish it in 1 hour. But obviously, you can run the tasks in parallel, which is possible and feasible, but it requires some mind yoga with Python, with threading, or adding some queues and batch processing and this kind of stuff. And not every AI engineer or ML engineer is comfortable with this. And so basically the point being is that maybe it will be easier if we have the deadline not in 1 hour, but at 2 or 3 hours, to give you some time. After all, the eval scores are not leaking, or they should not be leaking. And there is no harm in getting at time. Okay, somebody in one of the chat is writing that he has completed 25 tasks in 20 minutes. So it's not likely that this will work out in 1 hour. So yeah, so this is probably the sequential execution. Let's see. So, and does anybody write something on the Discord? Okay, it is all quiet on the Discord. More active in LLM under the hood, and more active on the YouTube stream. Okay, so assuming that the tasks are being run in sequential mode, and it takes 60, 90 seconds for a task to finish, for an agent to finish working on one task. So basically we have like 1 hour and a half to do a sequential run, and then assuming that there was an exception or network gotcha, and there was no exception handling and retry logic implemented. So we want to give a second chance. So sounds like 3 hours. Yeah, and somebody's saying that his solution in sequential mode will take more than 2 hours. Thank God it has parallel mode. Although I've been working with distributed systems for how many? 20 years already. And if the usual heuristic is that when you take a bottleneck and you eliminate that, for example, by parallelizing stuff, then chances are that it will show up somewhere else. Like, for example, downstream in the OpenAI throttling. Okay, so my suggestion then, let's do it this way. Let's set the deadline, like the total runtime from the moment of deployment, to be 3 hours. This will give more people a chance to finish and still not enough time to proofread manually 100 tasks where every task is changing. But if somebody has finished their compute accuracy earlier and they have just submitted that and they haven't done any retries, then teams with the highest scores, if multiple teams with the highest score are tied for the top first place, then we're going to prioritize on the speed. So first we'll prioritize on the accuracy, then we're going to prioritize on the speed. So how does this sound? And I'll write that in all chats to be sure. But if you finished earlier and don't submit any more compute accuracy sessions, then this will give you an H if you're tied. Okay, so then it sounds like we're all set. I will not do a stream like to say, hey, the times is up, because it will just be 3 hours from the ERC3 deployment point in time, and we'll just figure this out by the data analysis afterwards. If you have any more questions, ask, or if you want to hear anything starting from how do you use AI coding, or what is the problem with HDR, etc., etc. If you want to have me talking about it right now, you can just type the questions right now in the stream, and I'll try to answer. Otherwise, what we're going to do is the deadline cutoff for the prizes will be in 3 hours from there, or 2 hours and something from the ERC3 prod. We will reveal the scores and results next Tuesday, probably 9 a.m. Central European time again. And then we're going to publish the compute accuracy prize round and the leaderboards for all the other things. And this doesn't mean that the platform will be taken down. So I learned the lesson from the Enterprise Rep Challenge 2, the PDF round, and this platform is set to run. And you'll be able to submit new sessions. You'll be able to tune and optimize your agents. Just we have the cutoff date on next Tuesday, and the sessions that were submitted before that, they kind of count more for the leadership or for the fame and karma, if you'd like. And in general, what we're also going to do is we'll see who got the first place. And as usual in the previous challenges, I'll ask the winners or all the teams to share a bit more about their solutions. And hopefully we'll have the same story as it happened in the previous challenges. We'll get some open source versions of these agents, maybe even the top scoring agents shared publicly. And then if there are any insights, if there are any emerging patterns, then we'll share this information also publicly so that everybody can learn from the best solutions, and we can push state-of-the-art in building enterprise AI agents or just personal AI assistants. One thing that I can already tell you about the insights that some teams have been discovering is that in this challenge, in this competition, Teams that so far scored best results, they were doing two things. So first of all, they are creating custom tools because the tools that are available to AI agent as an API in the challenge is actually they're not efficient. They're chatty, they're verbose, and they're not very efficient. And because they're not very efficient, they tend to create the context of models with a lot of junk. And we all know like that there are three hallucination triggers which cause large language models to start making things up and making mistakes. And they are first, there is too much information on the context. Second, there is too little relevant information in the context. And the task is too cognitively complex for the model. And so basically the idea that I wanted to put into the Enterprise Challenge 3 is to show that usually in the world, enterprise APIs are not convenient. They will pollute the context and they will make agent hallucinate. So you cannot just take an agent and plug it in and it will be working. Ideally, you need to create tools that are more efficient, that are less chatty, that pollute the context less. So that's one of the insights that becomes very obvious and visible in the challenge. And the second one is that now you need to manage context because sometimes the tasks take too many steps to complete. Yes, we have schema guided reasoning. Yes, we have ability to kind of structure agents to get complicated workload. And
Okay. How do I get back to the stream? Mm. Hmm. Okay, now it's sharing the screen. Please tell me if you can hear me. Okay, great. So now we have even the screen, which is great. I'm back, and I can even ask the questions about the Enterprise Rack Challenge now. And we have more than 170 individual agent runs. And before let me check what is the workload on the CPU. What does it look like? Okay, so somebody asked, how does the workload on the CPU look like? I'd say it's noticeable. So the simulation runtime is using a multi-core ARM system because I just wanted to make it run on ARM instead of AMD or Intel. And we're getting something like 25% CPU load across all the cores, which is not bad. Now, let me see if I share the browser entirely. Should be something like that. Okay, yes. No. Okay, that's better. Okay, and so here's the Enterprise Rack Challenge 3. In this case, as you see, we are not showing the task IDs and we're not showing the gotchas. They will be revealed on the next Tuesday, but you can still get the results. And some of the fun tasks that we've incorporated here, they are based also on some of the enterprise experience. One of the fun tasks is that there is a question somewhere there in Chinese, and there is a question, yeah, and there is a question, for example, in German. Normally, like in the real world, there will be a lot more questions in different languages, because, for example, as you know, in Europe, there are lots of countries and even with different languages and even dialects. And for companies, actually, it is really important so that colleagues from or employees from different branches they can understand each other or they can use the system regardless of how which language they're using and which language the system is using. But because not everybody is kind of used to this setup and scenario, we are not having like multilingual tasks all over the way, just having only two of them or three. What else is interesting here? Uh, Basically, most of the tasks are kind of like knowledge information lookup and OLAP tasks. And probably 25% are actual tasks that require changing things, like creating projects, changing the wiki, finding people, and changing their skills and wills, which is also representative of what of the kind of workload that happens in real enterprise systems, because people usually want to find information about the colleagues, about the system, discover, find experts, and they want to get information more frequently than they want actually to change something. Okay, let's see. Speaking of, there is a question. In case for the longer format of the competition after the deadline, will all the submissions count in leaderboard, or as well only the last one? So we're going to have, in essence, like frozen leaderboard, and the frozen leaderboard it will account for the. That's actually a good question. So should we count in each category all the submissions or only the last submission? Probably we'll do folding, meaning that only the highest submission. So actually, like for the extended leaderboard, there is no longer the. I'll need to think about that. So basically, we want the competition to be fair, so that everybody has the same chance, and that, for example, if the team has a capacity to burn a lot of GPUs, they will not be able to brute force the highest scores. So, for example, if I wanted to kind of cheat in the extended competition, then I'll just rent an H100 or a cluster at the company at time to act for a couple of weeks. And then I'll just have an agent that is cycling over and over again, trying to get the higher scores. Because even though there are 100 tasks, and the deviations will not count so much, but I should still be able to get lucky or not lucky occasionally. So to kind of remove this chance of cheating, for the extended leaderboards, which will be frozen, it's still best to allow only one submission from the team. But I want to also capture like teams, the effort that the teams have been investing to improve chase state of the art. So then it means that we'll just have to make two leaderboards per focus. One leaderboard is where the last submission counts, and the other leaderboard is where all submissions show up. How does this sound? And in parallel, let me see if there are any outstanding questions. So to answer the questions, yeah, score will be shown only in a 1 week. Simply because we want to avoid kind of leaking any information about the answers, so that the teams and agents they cannot optimize for that. Because even if a person will not be able to optimize one of the correct answers or not correct answers, probably the agent can figure out some information about the scores and do something like a bisect. For example, hey, dear ChatGPT or OpenAI, codex in the cloud. Here's the credentials for the competition. Now here's the statistic about the latest runs, and here are the scores. Please analyze my responses and tweak them. Identify the tasks that were not efficient, and tweak things and to try to make them better. But do not touch any task that scored 1, because probably the solution is correct there. So it's basically, if we reveal the scores, it might be possible to do the bisect approach to hacking the competition. Okay, all set. So do we have any more questions? Any questions about the Enterprise Rack Challenge, about the next steps? If something is not clear, I can answer them right now, or we'll just continue communicating in our communities as we used to. And to also repeat, so basically, if you want to see the source code of how to connect to the ERC3 prod, you just go to the view sample agent, and there in the main P, this is how you're starting a session, and you're connecting to the ERC3 prod benchmark, and you provide the flag compete accuracy. But basically, there is also an API in the SDK, which is called I think it's find session, or let me look it up in my own source code. And now that the heat of the challenge is done, I should be able to have time to actually release the source code for the Python SDK so that it will be more useful. Okay, so there is a core start session, and there should be core. Is it list session? Find session. What was the method? Oh. So there is basically this method, which allows you to search for sessions. And when you get basically when you get the sessions, you can just grab the latest session, and then you do something like you get tasks, but you just have to double check if the task is not completed yet. If there is interest, I can later share the snippet in the source code that shows how to connect to the existing session and continue working on that, even if some of the tasks were broken halfway. Ping me in the chats if you want to see the source code. but basically should be fairly straightforward. Okay, now let's see. Last chance to ask any more questions. And if not, we're just wrapping it up. And we'll see you in 1 week, 9 a.m. Next Tuesday, Central European time. We will reveal the leaderboards. We will switch Enterprise Rack Free prod system to the public benchmark. So now you'll be able to see the agent evaluations in real time, and it will be much easier and more convenient to improve agent architecture further. Oh, and the last question, there is for the competition, does it count a submission that has not only the accuracy flag, but also the others? So essentially, flags are indicators for the leaderboard scoring mechanics, saying, hey, I want my solution to be present in this leaderboard. So in theory, you can just send a session that has all 4 flags, like accuracy, budget, what was the speed, uh, and locality. But basically, chances are that this system that is optimized for the accuracy, it will be not that cheap or maybe not that fast. And if you just don't care about the other focuses, then just you can put all the flags on the session at once and just keep it this way. If you're part of the team that wants, for example, to promote a system for the enterprise that focus on the accuracy or that focus on the speed for the real-time search assistance, because in reality, AI agent that takes 60 or 90 seconds to answer is too slow to be attractive for the enterprises. Ideally, they want something that is slightly faster. So basically, if you want to showcase your solutions with a different focus, then it's better to have dedicated sessions. If you don't care, if you care only about the accuracy or if you care about some metrics, you can just put all flags on the session and just keep it this way. Okay, I think I've answered all the questions. And I'll do a summary update in all the chats and all the communities about the next steps. And see you next week. And in the meanwhile, if you discover something, if you discover some insights, if you learn something, please don't hesitate to share that in the chats in the communities. Because the whole idea of this Enterprise Rack Free Challenge is to make sure that all the teams, all the individuals that want to get better at building systems with LM under the hood, they get a chance to learn, to try something that is realistically matching the real world business problems, but without wasting time to set up the test and eval suite. That was my responsibility. And if you do that, if you discover something that works best for your agent, you discovered a trick or thing that made your agent work better, please don't hesitate to share it. Because this, like when we see what is working in the real world on this task, we can see the patterns and we summarize these patterns, we share them back, and this makes it everybody in the community will be able to build much better agents on the next competition or on the next benchmark. That's how we work together to push state of the art. And on the previous challenges, we discovered the importance of structured outputs, even before the structured outputs were available by Anthropic, for example, or were done properly by the Gemini. And we discovered the value of schema-guided reasoning. We discovered like how it can be applied to building agents, and there is even SGR Core open source project that builds an agent that is deployed actually in multiple companies by the team of the neural deep. And the idea is that I'm hoping to learn something else about managing context, about managing complex tools. Maybe there is some other architecture that is there that makes it easy and convenient to deploy complex and advanced agents that are also precise, fast, maybe also secure, even by small teams. And we want to discover that together, and we want to share back, because then we can do another benchmark that will push this agent to the limit, and like just step by step push the state of the art further. And thanks to everybody for staying with us on this journey. Thanks to helping to learn and to get better. And see you next week. Now I just have to figure out how to stop the transmission.